All right, so here we're considering the function of log base 10 4x squared minus rx plus r minus 1, and we're told that x is a real number. Find possible values of r. Now we need to know that for any log function, okay, so we'll say common log of x. Okay, in this case, x, our input, needs to be greater than 0. Okay, so that's going to remain true for our problem statement. So our input here, which is 4x squared minus rx plus r minus 1, needs to be greater than 0. Okay, and that is a non-inclusive inequality. Okay, so we have a quadratic here. All right, and we know that this quadratic needs to be greater than or equal to 0. So if I'm thinking about what this quadratic might look like, well, I know if I just quickly sketch, and this is not going to be super accurate, but just conceptually, this is an upward facing, okay, an upward opening quadratic, right? And it is always going to be greater than 0, meaning it's never going to hit my x-axis. Okay, so what that means for us as far as quadratics is concerned is that my discriminant needs to be greater than 0. Or sorry, our discriminant needs to be less than 0 here. Okay, so our discriminant is less than 0, so let's go ahead and set that up. So we have minus r squared minus 4 times r minus 1, and that needs to be less than 0. Okay, so if we rearrange and simplify, we get r squared minus 16r plus 16 must be less than 0. So again, we have another quadratic here, and we're looking for the values of r where this quadratic is going to be less than 0. So if I do another quick sketch, okay, you can go ahead and use your GDC for this, but your quadratic is going to look something like this. Okay, we got another upward facing quadratic or upward opening quadratic, and we're looking to find those zeros. So we can do this. You could do this with your GDC, or you could do this with your quadratic formula. Either way, to find those those x-axis intercepts. Okay, so if you were to do this with the quadratic formula, you would find that your quadratic is equal to 0 when r equals 8 plus or minus 4 root 3. Okay, or if you were to use your GDC, you would find that those axis intercepts would be 1.0718, and r also equals 14.9282. Okay, so those are our 2 points here and here. Okay, now we're concerned with where this quadratic is below the x-axis, so I want all of these x values here. Okay, so really I want these values in between the two x-axis intercepts that I found. Okay, so what that's going to look like as far as an inequality goes would be 1.0718 is less than, r is less than 14.9282, and that would be our final answer.